All right, hello everyone. Wow, that is incorrect. Half of reality missing on that one. Hey folks, welcome to the Orbital Platform. My name is Golden Nova, and this is day 2 of Custom Card Week this month. I'm very sad that I don't know how to tell my own time. I am very happy to see some very wonderful people have helped to support the channel. That is going to be Nomadic Chaos gifting a Tier 1 sub to Merry Solstice, and Kingmaker getting a getting a Prime subscription. Dogging process initiated. Hello Nova, how you doing today? Sadly, my mouse isn't working. However, I still plan on having lots of fun, and I'm hoping to provide. I'm feeling a little bit like a goof. There are some people who are a little time sensitive, so we're gonna get started here. I'm gonna transition over to the cards. I'm gonna invite our guest over. Hopefully, they still have time to present. If you've been here previously, you know what's going on. If you don't know, stick around after this one. You might catch up while we're doing this one, but stick around. I'll explain after this one, just so we can get this taken care of. Let's do a drum solo. And here we are. Turning that off. Okay. Nomadic Chaos. No, I believe Red Hawk. Red Hawk is up. Red Hawk, if you are still here, please let me know and we will get your cards talked about. Hazor the man with the anime protagonist haircut. Thank you. I feel very lavishly haired, I must say. I got a little Garma Zabi energy going on, if you know what I mean. I've been telling that to everyone, like everyone knows what I'm talking about. Also, just one more week until my birthday. Hopefully we can duel then. We will see. We will see what we shall see. Okay, just following up people. So, hey, how's it going, folks? I have seen the new 3 Shots to Duel video. Folks, I got something to link for you here. Oh, actually, first, I gotta get a little fist bump from my good friend Raviel here to get me pumped up. Pump up the jams, if you will. Okay, Shimmering Scraper. Ha! Hachi Machi. That's some dark energy. Yeah, so go watch the new 3 Shots to Duel video. We'll link that eventually. It's really cool. Okay, they got the roll. And there we go. I think we've got them on. Red Hawk, how are we doing this fine day?
Yes.
Yes, indeed. I see that you have sent an orbital drop of delicious Halo cards for us to talk about today. Do you have any? Do you have an intro that you'd like to let the audience know about? Any kind of intro for the cards?
Okay, so pretty much this is the. I guess there's an audio delay every time you say something. It repeats the same thing.
Ooh, yikes!
All right,
Is anyone getting
I'll
that
try
on
to
their
work
end?
around it. But as long as there's no echo from my end to you, that's all that really matters.
Oh yeah, you sound fine to me.
Okay, cool. So 4 of the cards, those pendulums, you don't have to worry about reviewing them. I mean, if we have time, we can go over them. But because I haven't done any live testing for them yet. So, but the rest of the cards, they're already done, ready to go. I've played them a lot, and pretty much this is like a very combo eccentric deck. It can literally make rank 2s, rank 4s, rank 6s. It could potentially make rank 8 when those pendulums do come out. Uh, Crazy part is those two monster cards right before the pendulum, they can be treated as soft ones per turn, so they can make synchro 4s, synchro 6s, synchro
All
8s.
right, all right. I dig.
There's like, I try to make this thing as super combo as possible, but can still mix with other decks without taking it away. And only the more like really ridiculous effects are archetype restrictive, so it can't be spammed in every deck.
And that's nice to see. I don't say it always gets on my nerves, but sometimes a piece of archetypal support leaks into a meta deck and it gets a little annoying.
Yeah. So if you want to actually start with the lower level monsters and then get to the higher level monsters in a row, so you can start with Mob 1 and Mob 2. It's kind of cool to note for you. When was the last time we ever saw Konami make a Yu-Gi-Oh monster that had a hashtag in it?
Bring back our number, not just like number 106 or anything. No. We need hashtag numbers, baby. What if you did that? What if you did that at like a tournament? You brought.
I thought it was Kamakiri 1, 2.
Yeah, what if you brought that to a tournament and was like, Judge, this is a number monster. That's the symbol. My number wall functions right now. Alrighty, so Halo Banished Grunt Mob number 1 is a level 2 light reptile monster with 500 attack and defense. If you control a Halo Banished monster other than a copy of this card, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn, and once per turn you can activate this effect to treat this card as a tuner this turn. Okay, so you just get the opportunity to use it as either or. That's pretty nice. And it looks like Mob number 2 has the exact same effect, so it's just some redundancy.
It's pretty much cannon fodder like how Halo used to do it, where grunt mobs could just swarm the field and stuff.
That's my grunt impression.
Now, I was gonna make another spell card for a grunt birthday party, but I haven't made it yet.
Yeah, your opponent has to earn that by clipping through your deck to the special zone. Alrighty, so let's see here. What's the next one we want to talk about?
You can look at the from right to left, so the snipers will be the next one.
Alrighty. Halo Banished Elite Snipers is a level 4 light reptile monster with 1000 attack and defense. If you control a Halo Banished monster other than a copy of this card, you can special summon this from your hand. This card can attack directly, and if this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can add a Halo Banished card from your deck to your hand. Okay. The Battle Stratos. Very chic decision there.
Yeah, because I kind of had to make it a little bit, since it can add any card, it has to go through the battle phase.
Alrighty. Next up is Halo Banished Brute Troopers, a level 4 Dark Beast monster, because I assume that's because it's the... I forget what the actual names of them all are, but like the Brutes as opposed to the...
The real name is Jarl Hanai, but I'm just calling them based off the humans called them, so...
Alrighty, if this card is special summoned, you can special summon a level 6 or lower Halo Banished monster from your grave. Okay. Oh, and that I assume works really well with
it's literally the
mobs.
altar of the deck.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. I think I might have spoken over you.
Oh, I didn't... Do you hear an echo now?
No, I don't hear any...
Oh, okay, yeah, Brute Troopers is pretty much like the altar of the deck.
Yeah, that makes sense. This plus, level 4s make our rank 4s. This plus the mobs gets us into our synchros. It's pretty silly.
Yeah.
Halo Banished Brute Grenadier, level 4 Dark Beast monster, 1500 attack and defense. If this card is summoned, you can excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you do, add an excavated Halo Banished monster to your hand. Also shuffle the rest into your deck. Oh, sweet. Pot of Duality. That's pretty sweet.
Bro, the original version of this had it milled the top 3, but then some of my peers were telling me that might be a little bit too broken. So I changed it to shuffle it.
Yeah, having a free Dante in your deck has usually meant that it's really strong. But I think this is a fun little way to spice it up.
Yeah.
All right, Halo.
The spells and traps back into the deck too, because sometimes you don't want them in the graveyard.
True. All right, Halo Banished Hunter, a level 6 insect monster with 2500 attack and 3000 defense. I love these big shelly worm piles. Also, Arch22, thank you so much for following. If you control a Halo Banished Hunter, you can special summon this card from your hand, because obviously they come in pairs.
Yeah.
You can only special summon them once per turn this way. If this card can attack while in phase of defense position, if you do, applies a defense for damage calculation. Once per turn, if another Halo banished Hunter monster you control is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can equip it to this card. This card gains attack and defense equal to half the original attack and defense of the monsters equipped to it by this effect.
So it's like how the hunters would rage when you kill one of them.
Yeah. So that is meant to emulate that effect. That's pretty nifty.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
He's pretty much he might be really the only brick in the deck, but there is a workaround with the rank 4 system. But you'll get to it when you see it.
Got it. Okay, are we moving on to
our boss monster?
Okay, the boss extra decks.
The boss monster is Atriox, the one right to the next of Hunter.
Right. I didn't complete the row. Okay. Halo banished Atriox, the War Master, a level 8 Dark Beast monster with 2500 attack, 2000 defense. You can special summon this card from your hand or grave by banishing 3 other Halo banished monsters from your hand, field, and or grave. You can only special summon this monster once per turn this way, and if summoned this way, you can banish 1 monster your opponent controls, and gains 500 attack for each other Halo banished monster you control. Oh, okay, so it's already big. Gets bigger when you amass your forces, and then you just get to ruin something when it hits the board. That's excellent. That's great.
And the cool part is, since it's a hard once per turn summon, he only does a non-target one banish, so you can't just abuse that banish effect.
And that's good. We're not, just picking apart our opponent's board for no reason, but that does not take away from its just a really solid effect.
That 25 turns into a 35, and he's just
wailing on people. Dragoon wishes they could be this cool.
The cool part is all the special summons are not effects, so they're inherent. So the way they work, you can't just negate their special summon.
Yeah, you'd have to use something like a Solemn Strike to keep them off the board. That's pretty savage. That's pretty good. I see this being like a very good low to the ground, like you were saying.
You don't have to worry about the rituals yet.
Got it. So where are we going next then?
The first one, which would be Awakening the Nightmare.
Okay. Halo Banished, Awakening the Nightmare. Normal spell card sends a Halo Banished send Halo Banished monsters with different names from your deck to the graveyard up to the number of Halo Banished monsters you control.
It's pretty straightforward. It does nothing if you don't have board presence, and it does a lot when you do have board presence.
Yeah, I imagine having, the best part of Painful Choice on a card is pretty snazzy. Alrighty, next is Halo Banished Glassing Beam. Normal spell card, target cards your opponent controls equal to the number of Halo Banished cards you control and destroy them. Neat.
So same with the Nightmare, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the more forces you have accumulated, the more powerful your effects get to be, because you're a big army.
It's the best idea. Like, if you were trying to stop this deck, don't let the Halo Banish create presence.
You better be side decking Torrential Tribute, otherwise you are going to be sorry. Alright, Halo Banished Phantom Drop. Normal spell card. Special summon up to 3 Halo Banished monsters from your deck whose total levels equal exactly 12. Oh, okay.
So pretty much, this is like that one card. This is the highlight card of this deck, in my opinion, because you can create any variation that equals 12 or less. So either 2 hunters, 3 level 4s, any 1 level 6, 1 level 4, 1 level 2, or 3 2s. So it's crazy. This is the card that'll get you to any synchro or XC you want.
Yeah, that's a wild playmaker. This is the Ash Magnet of the deck.
You have to Ash this card. This is the branded fusion.
It's just like me, for real, for real. Alrighty, and that brings us to Halo Banished Infusion Gel. Continuous trap card. If your opponent summons a face-up or any number of face-up monsters while you control a Halo Banished monster, have that monster's attack and defense until the end of this turn, even if this card leaves the field. If you control Halo Banished Atriox, the War Master, also negate the effects of those monsters. You can only control 1 copy of this card. That's pretty strong. Holy
Yeah, so
cow.
this is the win con trap. Once you get Atrax on the field, it's a one-sided skill drain, and their attacks and defense are cutting half, so they can't just run over your stuff.
No, yeah, for sure. That's going to be annoying to deal with. Holy cow.
But this deck fails hard to standard, like almost like any other trap deck, like hard spell and trap removal. This deck is not doing much against, so it gives your opponent a chance to get rid of it.
Yeah, it makes sense. We're not adding some kind of ridiculous recursion or protection on here. It's good if it sticks, but your opponent has a chance to counterplay it.
But this deck does have some recycling, but it's only one particular monster. But you can start now with the extra deck if you want to start with the synchros.
Alrighty, let's go. Okay. Halo Banished Chieftain Warlords, level 8 Dark Synchro Beast monster with 3000 attack, 2500 defense. Requiring a Halo Banished tuner and one or more non-tuner Halo Banished monsters. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. It deals piercing battle damage, and once per battle during damage calculation. If this card battles a monster, as a quick effect, you can make this card gain attack equal to that opponent's monster's attack during damage calculation only.
Yeah, pretty much a Boral Sword on steroids. Huh?
Yeah, it's like Boral Sword and Bujinte Susanoo like got together and like shared tactics. This card is beefy. Holy cow.
He's a good way to get rid of your opponent that has like, you know, those kind of weird ass effects where they could just keep summoning monsters on your turn during the battle phase because it attacks every new monster once each.
Yeah, get punished, fool. You want infinite recursion? Enjoy infinite damage.
Exactly. And take the effect damage too because it does defense piercing.
There's nowhere to hide from the warlords. All right, next we have Halo Banished Grunt Riders, level 4 Dark Reptile Tuner Synchro Monster, requiring a Halo Banished tuner and a non-tuner Halo Banished monster as material. While face up on the field or in the graveyard, this card is also a beast type. If this card is synchro summoned, you can special summon a level 6 or lower Halo Banished monster from your graveyard. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's going to synchro ladder us up really good.
Oh yeah. And then the crazy part about it is, considering, I don't know why, but for lore reasons, I made it a beast type just because you see a grunt riding a brute on it, so it's a half reptile, half beast.
Yeah, I can dig that.
And if you mix it with Tri-Brigade, it's a revolt card.
Gee willikers. Yeah, because Tri-Brigades had to be more powerful. All right, Blitz, how much longer do we have on the clock here? In the meantime, let's go ahead and take a look at the Xyz monsters.
Yeah, you can start with the rank foe.
All right, Halo Banished Honor Guard, light reptile Xyz monster, with 2400 attack, 2000 defense, requiring 2 or more level 4 Halo Banished monsters. While this card has material, your opponent's monsters can't target monsters for attacks except this one. And when a card or effect is activated as a quick effect, you can detach a material from this card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it.
Yeah.
Good. I love that it says
captain effect too if you can get multiple honor guards.
Oh, you read my mind. I was about to be all like, cool, let's make 2 honor guards and never have to deal with our opponent ever again. Alrighty, and then there is Halo Banished Hunter Captain, rank 6 light insect Xyz monster with 2500 attack and defense, requiring 2 or more level 6 Halo Banished monsters. You can also Xyz summon this card by using a rank 4 Halo Banished Xyz monster you control. Excellent. During your main phase, you can detach 2 material from this card, destroy all cards on the field except Halo Banished cards. This card cannot attack the turn you activate this effect, and you can only use this effect once per turn, and you can only control 1 copy of this card.
This was that workaround to get the Hunter that was a brick in your hand. You just make a rank 4, summon this, and then first summon Hunter from your hand.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I would have to say if you control a Halo Banished Hunter monster, you could do that, because right now it's only specifically like the other card.
Well, they both say Hunter. The only difference is the XC says Captain at the end.
Oh, yeah, which is why you would have to, like, problem-solving card text stuff, but like you would have to say, if you control a Halo Banished Hunter monster, that way it'll like allow for any monster with that in the name. Otherwise, it's looking for that specific copy of that card.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll have to fix that then. But
Yeah,
thank you.
but no problem. But I see where you're going with that, and it makes sense in like lore-wise. But that's a pretty good addition on there. All right, I'm being told we have hit our time on here. Red, do you have any other combos or anything that we haven't gotten to show off here that's important?
Almost every combo just ends up with somehow, like if you're going first, either ending with Honor Guard, Atriox, and having that infusion gel. And full combo is literally any one monster you can normal summon and a banished monster that can special summon from your hand.
Okay, all right, sick. Well,
it's pretty sick with it.
It
I
seems
guess
like
next time you'll check over the last 4 links. If you do want to look at it yourself, that's totally fine.
I probably will once we're all done here. These are pretty cool. All right, then it is my honor to begin the Nova Scales. All right, so novelty. Is this deck doing things we have not seen before? So I am going to give this a 3 on novelty. And I say this because I like the angles that this deck is running at, but it reminds me very much of X-Sabers. There's a lot of, like, group tactics, special summoning out if you have other members of the theme. Especially cards like Glassing Beam feels a lot like the X-Saber removal card. So, and that's good because X-Sabers were famously really strong. So it was a very good theming going on here. It's not like breaking any ground when it comes to design, but it's still a pretty good mesh of cards. So it's getting a 3 on novelty out of 5. Objectivity. Is the problem-solving card text good? Are the effects in line with a current power level? For objectivity, I'm giving it a 4. Power level-wise, I think it's perfect. From what I've seen, these are good effects that are strong, but they're not breaking out into like a dozen other decks and warping the game around them. There were some problem-solving card text issues, but those can be easily smoothed out in the future. So that's just the only knock. So we're getting a 4 on objectivity.
Ooh.
Versatility. Would this see play in multiple decks? I've already talked that this isn't going to fit into everything because of how it works specifically, but it does have some really good types in it. Reptiles will continue to be always a good type as long as Snake Rain exists. I swear to God. I swear it's going to happen, folks. And Beast is a generally good typing because Tri-Brigades exist, so you could splash those in here as well to help with that. I think versatility-wise, from what I've seen, we can give this a 4. I could see some of these being used as, like, synchro ladders, even if you're not making, like, the on-theme stuff. Some of these just have really good, like, synchro climbing or Xyz building effects.
I was going to say, like, you don't even have to choose just the extra deck of the Banish. You could literally choose an entire general lineup if you wanted to.
Yeah. Like, these are a bunch of, like, easy level 6s. You could put, like, Charge Warriors, Brionax, New Brionac, whatever you want. So I think these are pretty fire for that. And awesomeness, out of 5, do I think this is awesome? Folks, I grew up on Halo. I love my Halo-ness. These cards are awesome, and I love how you've translated their tactics and their story into the mechanics of the cards. I think that was really well put together. So I was getting a 5 from me. So I'm happy to award a 16 out of 20 on the Nova scale for this very solid collection of cards.
Sweet. Thank you.
Hey, and thank you for sharing them. Do you have any last words for the audience before we move on to our next guest?
Oh, no, I'm good. So just try it out, guys. You know, play it on Dueling Butt. Get a feel for it.
Yeah, go play Grunt Goblin. It's got Goblin in the name. That means it's a good card.
This is the Equamax of the deck.
Yeah, come on, folks. Get with it. All right, thank you again so much, and I'll talk to you later, okay?
Right.
Alrighty. Let me reset that scale here. Wonderful cards. Wonderful intro. Okay, next up on our list, I believe Sir Knight, JCB. is in the running. And let me go ahead and double check chat here, because I needed to focus on talking with our special guest. R22 editing transfem number something has arrived. Thank you for stopping by, Arch. Arch has been working on a few of the shorts on the channel recently. She did off the top of my head, I remember it was the Arc V lore one. What was the other one? I'm so bad at remembering things. But I think she did a fantastic job, so round of applause for Arch. Ryojin coming in with the 2,000 point channel redeem. It's that time of the month again, everyone. It's time for the custom card reviews. Please secure all sensitive electronics and be ready for many dimensional anomalies as we go through today's batch. That's a fair warning. Things get silly around here. Speaking of silly, Sir Knight, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, still nervous as ever, but hey, we just take it up a notch and try to brave our way through, right?
Yeah, that's the protagonist spirit right there.
That is indeed right.
All right, now I think this got a little mixed up when I was getting the schedules put together. Was yours the Ender Lilies?
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool. Got that set up here. Alrighty. So do you have any opening thoughts, any intros for the audience to introduce them to the archetype?
More or less, but we'll do it like for each of the designated 5 cards, just to keep it on their time. But just to clarify and ask you, do you know about Ender Lilies by chance?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yes.
Spark my memory.
Yeah, so this is a Metroidvania that mainly focuses on the main girl or protagonist, Lily, who wakes up and finds that she's the only person in the entire kingdom alive. Accompanied by, you'll see in the second monster, I believe, the Umbral Knight. You try to journey around the kingdom that is now a dystopia and figure out what happens.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a really good story. It's sad, though, but it's a really good story.
Hey, you know what? Strangely enough, some of the best stories are just uncompromisingly sad.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what cuts to the core of our humanity.
Yep. And speaking of which, we'll get started right away and get on with the poster girl herself, Lily.
All right, we have Lily, Miracle of the Ender Lilies, a level 2 light spellcaster tuner monster with 200 attack and defense. This card is treated as a Lily token while face up on the field. You can only use each of these effects once per turn. If you control no monsters, or you control an Ender Lilies card, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add an Ender Lilies monster from your deck to your hand except a copy of this card. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Synchro monsters. During the main phase or battle phase, if this card is equipped with an Ender Lilies Union monster, minimum 1, as a quick effect, you can target one of them, tribute this card, and if you do, special summon an Ender Lilies Synchro monster in your extra deck, whose level is equal to the total levels that this card and that target had, and this is treated as a Synchro summon. Ooh, that is a lot of enablers right there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be quite frank. This is the poster girl. She's going to have a lot of superpowers. By that, I mean, it's affiliated with the spirits, which is the Union monsters. But yeah, this is probably the most stacked of all the other monsters. The rest of them, the Union monsters and Secret monsters, have their own formulaic system, if you will. But this is like the most stacked. But that's just to get it out of the way.
Alrighty.
The next one we'll go to is I was gonna say Umbral Knight, but just to emphasize the later cards, we'll go to the third monster, Sigrid.
Sigrid, all right. Sigrid, Guardian of the Ender Lilies, is a level 6 Dark Zombie Union monster with 2600 attack and 0 defense. Once per turn, if this card would be destroyed, it is not destroyed. Once per turn, you can either target a Lily token you control and equip this card from your hand or field to that target, or unequip this card and special summon it. The equipped monster gains 1300 attack, and this card's first effect. Also, if the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect, destroy this card instead. A Lily token can only be equipped with 3 Ender Lilies Union monsters at a time. While this card is face up in the main monster zone, your opponent can't target your Lily tokens with cards, effects, or attacks except this card.
Yeah. So now this is where we get into the nitty-gritty. So unlike other Metroidvanias where you usually are equipped with many weapons like swords, clubs, glaives, projectiles, you're equipped with spirits. And the little tidbit where it gains the attack and the first effect, which is usually it's a battle relay effect, um, is what's inherited because that's what your weapons are. You get the attack boost of the spirit as well as some beneficial effect, and it goes with all the other zombie monsters. Like I believe Umbral Knight has like a at the start of the damage step you destroy the monster. Garrett, which is the giant, has like one that has attack, so on and so forth. But when we get into the synchro monsters, this is where Lily and that Union monster gets even more powerful.
Got it.
Yeah, so if you go to the second synchro monster, which is with Lily and Secret together.
All right, the Purified Ender Lilies, Sigurd and Lily, a level. Well, I'm looking at level 8. Light
Yeah.
Spellcaster Synchro Monster with 2800 attack and 200 defense, requiring a Light Tuner monster and one or more non-tuner Dark monsters. This face-up card's attribute and type are also treated as Dark Zombie. Also, it's treated as a Lily token. Your opponent can't negate this card's attack or choose its attack targets. Twice per turn, if any cards you control would be destroyed by a battle or card effect, it is not destroyed. And if the Synchro Summoned card in its owner's control leaves the field by your opponent, you can special summon a Lily token, which is a level 2 Light Spellcaster Tuner monster with 200 attack and defense. Then equip a Sigurd Guardian of the Ender Lilies from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Also, Lily tokens cannot be used as material except for a Synchro Summon. You can only use the effect of the Purified Ender Lilies, Sigurd and Lily, once per turn.
Yeah, so this is so just to clarify, since we're unless we have more time, all the synchro monsters are gonna have the following things. They're gonna have a light tuner and a non-tuner dark, which is for the namesake of Lily being the only light and the other zombies being dark. They have effects that they were on their union selves, but much stronger. So instead of the original secret only protecting itself from by battle, the synchro monster protects everything, and it's twice per turn.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and they're all gonna float, similar to like Mirror J if it leaves, because the bond between Lily and that spirit is almost inseparable.
Ooh.
So like it's kind of that overpower, and uh, and they're gonna float into the Lily token as we mentioned, as well as the monster that was with it. So in this case, it's Secret, so it's gonna be equipping back to Lily.
That makes sense.
Yep. But I think that's pretty much it. And just to clarify, since we already got into these three monsters, the reason why there's an emphasis on Lily tokens is because in the game, when I mentioned about how she's the only human alive in the Kingdom of End, which is the setting of the game, she later finds out that in a flashback where she purifies Secret, that there is another Lily, and it turns out that she's the only Lily alive of her kind. All the zombie union monsters have one way or another met another Lily in their lives, and that's why there's an emphasis of Lily. But because the main deck is the only Lily alive, that's why she has this stacked amount of effects, because every of the other Lilies died in one way or another.
Got it.
So that's why it's like almost like a shadow of the former self. So
Yeah, there used to be like other ones, and these zombies have like lost those lilies, so they're really protective of like this one that's left.
I believe on my next card that I have is Quietus of the Knights, or the normal spell.
All right. Quietus of the Knights, a normal spell card. This card is always treated as an Ender Lilies card. If you control no monsters or you control a Lily token, special summon a Lily token, which we've talked about its stats, then equip it with an Ender Lilies Union monster from your deck. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Synchro monsters. If this card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you can banish this card, add an Ender Lilies card from your deck to your hand except a copy of this card. You can use each effect once per turn.
Yep, and the concept art was made by that fabulous person that I will not try to pronounce it. All I mean to Miv Fort.
Yeah, thanks, Midfort.
But yeah, this is also another cute starter for the deck. As featured with the little art, she's connected with all these Ender Lily Union monsters, with all like the spirits that are like in the zombie Union monsters, as well as like the Synchro monsters. I should mention that like because as I mentioned that Lily is the only one that has these special powers, or in this game's sense, to synchro summon using a Union monster in the spell and trap zone. These Lily tokens can't make the best use of it, which is why if the best it can do is just to become a better beat stick, essentially.
I also like how it works kind of like how Union Driver does, where you're
Mhm.
equipping them via a different effect, so you can just immediately special summon the dark zombies, and then just go for a
Mhm.
synchro summon anyway, since the token's a tuner. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. So like even in the worst case scenario, it might be vulnerable to spell and trap removal, but at least it doesn't have to choose one or the other. If it has equip or it can special summon, at least this one helps mitigate that. So it's a low Q one card starter, if anything.
Absolutely.
And the last card I have for the selection here is the Purification of the Ender Lilies, or the normal trap.
Alrighty. Purification of the Ender Lilies is a normal trap card that targets a Lily token that is equipped with an Ender Lilies Union monster card. Tribute it, then special summon an Ender Lilies Synchro monster from your deck that lists the name of that Ender Lilies Union monster in its text, and this is treated as a Synchro summon. If you control a Lily token and no Ender Lilies Union monster cards in the spell and trap zone, you can banish this card from your grave to equip up to 3 Ender Lilies Union monsters from your hand, deck, or grave to it, but send them all to the grave at the end of the next turn. You can use each effect of Purification of the Ender Lilies once per turn.
Yeah, so this has also helped to mitigate the Lily tokens if it's just a token, not the main deck or the synchro. It's like if you want to, like, I don't know, by chance want to do it on the opponent's turn as a quick effect, this is to help mitigate that. And it's, I know it's a bit weird when it says the synchro monster that mentions that Ender Lily's Union monster. It is listed, but it's like the very last effect, which is the floating effect.
Yeah.
And the graveyard effect is in a sense like a cute soul charge. But
Yeah, and and since the main monster is also treated as a Lily token, you like give it to her, and then during your opponent's turn, you get the chance to like pick between like one of 3 different ones to equip, which I think is pretty cool.
yeah. And just to tease you of like of the story as well.
Oh,
The art that's actually on this card is what Secret is, but on a more corruptive form.
ah,
Yeah. And in the story, you learn later that there is something called the Death Rain, or later known as the Blight. You learn later in the story that all these creatures are corrupted, kind of like zombies, if you will. That because of this rain, or because of like this plague, if you will, everyone got corrupted to the point where they lost their sanity, and their souls essentially hasn't left this earth because its body itself is still plagued by the blight, and it can't leave unless someone purifies it, which is Lily. So when she does purify Secret, the Secret you see as the Union monster is the spirit that accompanies Lily, but the soul of that spirit moved on.
oh, okay. So the Ender Lilies that we have here are like shells of their former selves. Their actual spirit has found peace.
Yes,
Okay, that's
essentially.
cool.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. You get, and for each of the Union monsters, you see a flashback of like their fondest memory, which is usually accompanied by Lily or someone that's related to Lily. Which I'm not going to spoil. You should play the game. Not sponsored.
What is that? I don't know if you watch Tolarian Community College, but there's this thing where like every episode, there's like this product called Infinitoken, where like they just use dry erase markers to represent whatever card they need, and every time it's like not a sponsor of the show. It's just a really cool product that we like. That's really good.
I'm not aware of that show, but I laughed at that part.
It's pretty good.
I unfortunately forgot to keep track of myself, so I don't know how much time we have by chance. But yeah, that's pretty much all the highlight cards. Unless there's if we have more time, we can highlight a few others.
Blitz hasn't said time yet, so let's do one more and see if we've got any time left.
Okay. I guess if there was one more we could do, I'd say we could do Respite of the Ender Lilies.
Okay. Respite of the Ender Lilies is a continuous trap card. Each time an Ender Lilies monster or a Lily token is normal or special summoned, you can gain life points equal to its original attack. Once per turn, you can activate one of these effects. Target a Lily token you control. Equip it with an Ender Lilies Union monster from your hand or grave, and if you do, until the end of this turn, Ender Lilies Union monster cards in your spell and trap zone cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. That's cool. Or target an Ender Lilies Union monster in your spell and trap zone and special summon it. Oh, now that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That really helps turbo them out. Holy cow.
Yeah. Granted, it's still a trap, so you can only do so much and special summon them as much as you can. But yeah, but just a few nods. So this is in the Metrovania, your little hub or save station where you can rest up, gain your health back, and equip your gear before you head off. So that's why when you summon a monster of these kinds, you gain a little bit of life points and whatnot.
And having extra life points is always nice if you're getting it for free.
Yep, and of course, because the flaw of Union monsters is that they have to choose one or the other for the once per turn, and it's not on a quick effect. This is how to help mitigate it, especially the first bullet point, because they're also vulnerable to spell and trap removal.
Yeah, definitely a huge upside for a huge upside to using this.
hmm
Because yeah, the one of the biggest drawbacks on unions is just how slow they can be sometimes to actually get out. So, yeah, I could see Respite being very helpful.
hmm Yep, yep.
All right. I think we might be going to time. I haven't heard back from Blitz yet, but to be fair, he did say he was keeping time on this one. We're getting close to about 3:30 on my end, so I think unless there's any combos or anything that, or rather, is there any combos or any important interactions that we should let the audience know about?
Yeah. Okay, well, this is not more like combos or text, but this is just more so for clarifications. Uh, I was gonna say originally that my first thing off the top of my head that would be support would be Union Driver, but unfortunately because it does say that you have to get a level 4 or lower Union monster from the deck, all of the Union monsters that are in this archetype are 5 or higher, just to emphasize on their power level as spirits that are strong, and Lily is weak. You can't really use this. And I was gonna say Union Carrier because the Union monsters slash the Synchro monsters would be great for this, but again, that's banned. But the only tech I can think of is combination attack, where if by chance you have a Synchro monster and you have 3 bad boys in a spell and trap zone and you already attacked once, you can use combination attack to allow the Synchro monster to attack again, and you have the Union monster to now use an extra body as a beat stick, and it's not once per turn, so you can attack with. So let me paint the picture. You have Secret. You already attacked once. You use combination attack. Secret can attack again, and the Union monster can attack again. You use another combination attack. You can attack with the Synchro monster again. Then you can use that Union monster again. Then you use a third combination attack to use with Secret, and then use a third Union monster. You just OTK your opponent and then some.
Yes, the power.
Is it good? Hell no. But
But is it
it's
fun?
yes.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it. But yeah.
All right, well, good timing because I am now being told that we are on time. So it is time for the Nova scale.
Dun dun dun.
All right, so novelty. So, it feels sometimes like when we do these, people end up making like a theme for like the week without even knowing it. This time around, we've seen already another Union deck here, but thankfully we don't check our novelty based on other people's stuff. It's just funny to see all the Union love going on this week. I love it so much. So there's not a lot of Union decks out there, so already we're going from a high degree of making stuff up as we go. I like that we've twisted the rules a little bit on unions to allow for multiple unions to be equipped to a single Lily token slash miracle. So we're trying to expand the space of things that unions can do. And being able to use union monsters as synchro material feels like something you should be able to do with the flavoring of it, because they're not just like equip cards. Like, Union is its whole thing. So I like how this uses that functionality. So for novelty, I'm giving the Lily and Ender Lilies a 5.
All right.
Objectivity. Problem-solving card text in line. Is their power level in line? I don't think we ran into any problem-solving card text stuff. I think you handled basically everything that I thought would have otherwise been a problem if someone hadn't been looking at it carefully, but it looks like you very specifically made sure to list out the differences in our how our unions work as opposed to others.
Mm-hmm.
Power level wise, I don't think we're hitting anything ridiculously powerful. Of course, it's nice to have the additional effects here, but there's a bit of setup. We do need the help of our continuous trap card to even make sure that those cards don't get borfed half the time from removal. So I think objectivity also gets a 5 here, unless I'm missing anything. Versatility. Does this see play in other decks? I'm not super sure. I mean, we have zombie monsters, which is one of the most supported types in the game. So you could theoretically use things like Vampire Suckers, Zombie World, Baylor Drock. I don't know if spellcasters would focus very much here because we just have like the 1 and the tokens. Mizuki, also a really good one. But our focus is to use these as like equip cards, not to like make them... I mean, they can be our frontline fighters when we need them to. So I think our versatility rating is about a 2, insofar as the fact that we get to use all the sweet zombie support out there, but not much else.
Yeah, and I wanted to still allow it to not be locked into like its own archetype. That's why I did try to make it a little bit easy with just using synchro monsters and not just ender lilies, because it would kind of be less flexible otherwise. I mean, the least you could do is probably make up a own, but you had to hard make the monster on the main monster zone rather than on the spell and trap zone. But I didn't want to make it too broken, so...
Yeah, we want to use the limitations to add flavor to our cards and also make them not overly generic, which was a good idea. People are also pointing out that because there are a lot of spellcasters in the synchros, so you could play Secret Village. Hey!
Hey, yeah.
Alrighty.
Let's make this unfun as possible.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Alrighty, and lastly, awesomeness. Folks, it's got to be a 5 for me. I don't know what to tell you. They are Union monsters being used as synchro material, giving their powers to a little girl who's just trying to get through a Metroidvania. I myself have been a little guy just trying to get through a number of Metroidvanias. I can relate with this story, even though I haven't really played it yet. But I can already feel a connection here, and I like the styling for all the effects going on here. So I think Ender Lily is getting a 17 on the Nova scale.
Alrighty, I think I somehow bumped up myself yet again.
Hey, all right, let's go. No, give yourself some room. This is your platform right now. Alrighty, well, thank you so much for stopping by. Any last words for the audience before we move on to our next guest?
I mean, again, play Ender Lilies if you can. It's one of the greatest Metroidvanias I personally play, just because of the gloomy atmosphere in and of itself. I'm not sure if it would be as great compared to like Hollow Knight, because the combat is also very satisfying. But give Ender Lilies a try. I'm pretty sure you'll like it if you love your Metroidvania / sad stories.
I just took a look at it on Steam, folks. If you have $25 to burn, it's right there for you. All right.
Yeah,
well,
that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, Sir Knight, thank you so much for joining us, and I'll talk to you later. All right.
Yep. You as well, Chief.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Alrighty, that was cool. That was really slick. Alrighty, next up we have Nomadic Chaos. Nomadic Chaos, if you would like to make your way into the talkie zone. Hollow Knight Warrior Matron. Hello, hey, how's it going? Nomad?
I'm doing pretty good.
Alrighty, let me go ahead and pull up your submission here. It looks like we are continuing the story of Flame Swordsman in their villain arc.
Yep. This one is with the Dark Magician and his side of things of what was happening with what was all going on.
Ooh.
And a little bit of a warning for at the end, because Yubel gets messed up at the end.
Uh-oh.
So just a heads up.
Alright, let me get this thing. Let me go ahead and focus on the premier cards we wanted to talk about. And then if we have some time, we'll see about talking about some of the sweet lore.
Okay, go for it, man. We're all good.
Okay. Okay, extra deck monsters. Okay, cool. So it looks like we're starting with Amazonis Augusta, the Spirit Sentinel. Now that's a name you can be proud of. Holy cow.
Oh.
It is a level 10 Earth Warrior fusion monster with 3,700 attack and 3,300 defense, requiring an Amazonis fusion monster and 2 level 5 or higher Amazonis monsters as material. When this card is fusion summoned, your opponent cannot target Amazoness monsters with card effects and cannot be destroyed by battle while this card is on the field. While this card is on the field, all Amazoness monsters can now deal piercing battle damage. While there are Amazoness monsters in your graveyard, you can activate these effects. When a monster you control is targeted for an attack, you can negate that effect. Quick effect, if you do this, card reduces the attack points of monsters your opponent controls by 500 for each Amazoness monster in your grave until the end of the damage step. When this card destroys a monster by battle, you can special summon an Amazoness monster from your grave or banished zone, and if you do, inflict damage to your equal to half of that special summon monster's attack points. Or once per turn, you can return an Amazoness monster from your grave or Amazoness monsters to your grave up to the Amazoness monsters on the field to your deck as a quick effect, and if you do, this card gains 400 attack for each returned card to the deck until the end of the turn, and it can attack additional times equal to those returned monsters. Every Amazoness player would love to have this card.
Yeah, this is the evolved form of Amazoness Augusta, where after something happened in the war part section, she leveled up by getting help from the ancestors of the Amazoness monsters.
Sounds pretty slick. Now, I do have a question about this first bulleted effect. It says when a monster you control is targeted for an attack, you can negate that effect. Does it mean you're supposed to negate the attack?
Yes.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense. Reduce the attack of monster opponent controls by 500. Okay, and then it gives a big debuff when they do that. Okay, that sounds good. Alrighty. Next up is Helena, the Dark Draconic Paladin, a level 10 Dark Spellcaster fusion monster with 3,400 attack and defense, requiring Dark Magical Paladin and Haligaster, the Tri-Horned Tempest. I assume that last one is a monster from a previous entry.
Actually, Haligaster, the Tri-Horned Tempest is my retrained version of the Tri-Horned Dragon.
My baby boy. Alright, when this card is fusion summoned, banish all spell and trap cards your opponent controls from the field. This effect cannot be negated, and while there are face-up spell cards you control on the field, monsters on your side of the field cannot be targeted by card effects. Once per turn, when a dark attribute monster you control is targeted for an attack, you can negate the attack, and instead have this monster become the attack target. As a quick effect, if you do this, monster gains attack points equal to the original target's attack points. And as a quick effect, you can discard one card from your hand and send it to the graveyard. If you do, banish one face-up spell, trap, or monster card on your opponent's side of the field. Quick effect banishing is pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm. And this is Dark Magician Girl after she went through her training arc with Buster Blader.
Oh.
In the lower part of the story.
Alright. Okay, so this last effect, you can discard a card from your hand and send it to the graveyard. I think discarding already sends it to the graveyard. Is there a reason why we're doubling up on that?
Yeah, that was a typo. That happened when I was writing it. I
Okay.
forgot to do it.
Okay, all good. I just want to make sure, because there might be, some, special effects going on I don't know about, just to make sure I'm on the level.
You're all good.
Alright, next is Percival, the Darkness Annihilator Warlock, a level 11 Dark Spellcaster fusion monster with 4,000 attack and 3,800 defense, requiring 3 or more level 5 or higher Spellcaster monsters, and this card is treated as a Dark Magician while on the field or in the graveyard. Incredible. When this card is fusion summoned, banish all spell and trap cards your opponent controls and negate all monster effects in the graveyard until the end of your next turn. If this card was fusion summoned using 3 or more spellcaster monsters, then banish all cards in your opponent's graveyard. This effect cannot be negated. You can activate one of the following effects while you control a spellcaster or warrior that was special summoned. Whenever a spell card you control is activated, destroy a monster on the field. And as a quick effect, if you do, negate its effects and banish it from the field. When this card attacks while you control a Dark Attribute Spellcaster monster, this card can return that monster to the hand and inflict damage equal to half that monster's original attack. Or you can excavate a number of cards in your deck up to the number of Spellcaster monsters on the field, and for every card excavated, banish a spell or trap card on your opponent's side of the field. This effect cannot be negated. Alright, so this is some form of Dark Magician, I take it.
No, this is Dark Magician's final form in the story. Much like how Ferocious Flame Swordsman got his final form in Kaitis the Ferocious Flame Overlord, this is Dark Magician's final form.
Alrighty. All right. So the last effect there, what do you do with the excavated cards once you finish taking a look at them?
You can add them to your hand.
Oh wow, that's huge. It's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, next is Dremora, the Dark Illusionist Magician, a level 9 Dark Attribute Spellcaster Fusion monster with 2000 attack and 3000 defense, requiring 2 Dark Spellcaster monsters as material. Effect: when this card is fusion summoned, spellcaster monsters cannot be targeted by the effects of your opponent's spell cards. While there are spell cards face up on the field or in your graveyard, you can activate these effects once per turn. As a quick effect, when an opponent's monster declares an attack against this monster or another monster you control, you can banish a spell card from your grave, field, or hand. And if you do, force that opponent's monster to attack another monster on that side of the field. When an opponent's spell or trap card is activated that targets a monster on your side of the field, you can shuffle a spellcaster monster or spell card in your grave into the deck, and if you do, have the activated card target your opponent's monsters instead. Alright, so what's Dremora's deal?
The Apprentice Illusion Magician.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is her after having trained with Dark Magician during that time period of like 180 years since Caius took over.
Got it. So that's like a parallel to Dark Magician Girl. We have her Helena form, and then there's also Dremora.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Alrighty. Timerand, the Necrotic Magician, a level 8 Dark Attribute Spellcaster Fusion monster with 2900 attack and 2600 defense, requiring 2 Dark Spellcaster monsters as material. When this card destroys a monster by battle, you can have one monster you control. I believe you can target one monster you control and gain life points equal to half that destroyed monster's attack points. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, so you destroy a monster, gain half his attack points as life points. When an opponent activates an effect from the graveyard, you can activate an effect depending on the card once per turn. If it's a monster effect, you can negate that monster's card effect, and if you do, special summon that monster to your side of the field until the end of your opponent's turn, at which point I guess it'll go back to their graveyard.
It gets right back on their next turn.
Okay. Spell card, you can negate that card's effects, and if you do, return all face-up spell and trap cards your opponent controls to the deck. Ooh. And as a trap card, you can banish that card from the graveyard, and if you do, destroy all cards in their hand and negate their effects. Wonderful. Holy cow. Alright, so what's going on with Timerand?
Timerand is actually one of Dark Magician's kids in the story.
Aw. Hey, they grew up to be a busted fusion monster, just like their old man.
Yep. He's taking after dear old Dark Magician Dad.
Dark Dad Magician. Alrighty. Well, those are some ridiculous fusion monsters. Blitz hasn't called time yet. Are there any other points of interest that we want to take a look at real quick in this deck?
If we had time, you could also there was the Link monster I had. There's actually some ritual monsters I made for the Amazonas at the end of the main deck.
Ooh.
If you want to take a look at them. I made them for the Amazonas monsters.
Alrighty. Our Link monster is How, the Dark Artificer, a Link 2 monster with a down and bottom left arrow with 1900 attack. It's a Dark Spellcaster monster requiring 2 Dark Effect monsters. When this card is Link summoned, you can return all spell cards. You can return spell cards up to the number of Dark Spellcaster monsters on the field to your deck, and if you do, as a quick effect, destroy that many spell and trap cards your opponent controls. When a Dark Attribute monster is normal or special summoned to a Link arrow to a zone this monster points to, that monster cannot be targeted by card effects until the end of your opponent's next turn. Okay, so How that evokes the name of the Dark Emperor. Are we bringing Jaden in on this?
Yeah, How is the Supreme King who, in this storyline, is actually before the whole war kicks off, is actually a practicing artificer.
Alrighty. Alright, let's go ahead and check out those Amazonas ritual monsters. Alrighty. Jadis, the Amazonas Beast Master, a level 8 Earth Warrior ritual monster with 2000 attack and 2500 defense. Once per turn, it's a quick effect. When an Amazoness monster destroys a monster by battle, banish another monster your opponent controls and negate its effects. Neat. And then also Talona, the Amazoness Witch Doctor, level 8 Earth Warrior Ritual monster with 2700 attack and defense. While this ritual summoned monster is on the field, all monsters your opponent controls lose 400 attack and defense for each Amazoness monster you control. As a quick effect, when an opponent's monster is sent to the graveyard by battle, banish one random spell or trap card your opponent controls, and this effect cannot be negated. Alright, so how did the Amazoness factor into all this?
The Amazoness during the whole war part of the story, Dark Magician and Amazoness Augusta got married.
Oh, well, you know what? That came out of left field. I wouldn't have expected that.
Yep. Turns out during the adventuring days of Dark Magician, he and Amazoness met up during a quest together, and they decided, like, hey, if we ever meet up again, maybe we could make something happen. And during a war where Zombie World got involved, they met up because Zombie World was attacking the Amazoness Empire, and Dark Magician met up with Amazoness Augusta again. And after said war, they spent some time trying to make it work and wound up getting married.
Aw. And then they made very powerful fusion kids.
Yup.
All right. Okay. Well, I think we're getting close to time on here, so unless there's any last statements, I think I'm going to go ahead and grab that Nova scale here.
The only thing I'd say is that for next part, I will have it focusing on what's going on with one of the Dark Magician's kids, where they're finding the fallen of Albaz, who has become a pirate lord in this timeline.
Oh no, my boy, my baby boy.
Yep, pirate lord fallen of Albaz, and is joined up with them. And turns out, fallen of Albaz during this timeline isn't being a pirate lord, just being a menace so much as he's grown up with Ecclesia, trying to help bring back the Sword Souls and trying to find out where Albaz was or is.
Okay, never mind. That sounds really cool. I'm on Albaz's side. I'm sorry I have to betray Dark Magician and the crew, but I gotta go with my boy. Okay, novelty. Have we seen these kinds of cards before? Well, technically they're all based on cards that we've already seen. We have Amazoness and like Dark Magician-esque support. The level of power that we are having on display here is unmatched in anything I've seen before. So I think for novelty, we have to give it at least a 3 for just how buck wild some of these cards are. Objectivity, I have to give it a 1. We ran into some problem-solving card tech stuff while we were talking about them. But even if these were pristine on that one, good gravy, these cards are super powerful. We're doing things like banishing whole graveyards, stealing monsters, cracking boards open, and enjoying the sweet marrow that's inside. Not a bad score. It just means it's really overpowered, and I think everyone would be playing this deck if they had access to those cards.
I made these cards as the final bosses to their archetypes, so it's like, hey, they're so difficult to summon because if you summon them, good luck.
Oh yeah, for sure. They've earned the power that they have. No kidding. All right. Versatility. Would these cards see play in multiple decks? A lot of these material are actually fairly generic. Like, big spellcasters. You could play that in Witchcrafters. Dark spellcasters. You could play that in almost any spellcaster deck. I think you could play these in a fair amount of decks. I gotta give it a 3 on versatility. And awesomeness. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, folks. It's evolved Dark Magicians in a shadowy world where Flame Swordsman is the bad guy, and we have these incredible, like, grimdark versions of these monsters. I love seeing them in action. This is really cool. I gotta give it a 5. So I'm rating these a 12 on the Nova scale. Pretty solid score.
So, yeah. Next part of the series, we're going to see what's going on with Dark Magician's kids who went on with Pirate Fall of Albaz, who has Ecclesia as his co-captain, to see what's going on with the Sword Souls and if they can be brought back. And one of them who joined up with the Masked Heroes as Darklaw.
Oh my god. Okay, well, stay tuned next month, folks. This is about to get real.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Take care and have a good one, all right?
You too. Also digging a showing protagonist haircut, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Ooh. Alrighty. Very funky. All right, next up. So Zinamar will be here in just a moment. I need to do a couple of
I'm right
chat
here.
follows-ups. Anyway, if I could have a moment, Zino, I got to catch up on some chat stuff.
Of course, of course.
Okay, first up, Kingmaker paid 2,000 channel points. We've got an announcement here. Just letting everyone know that the wicked ghost of the attic has gotten into the pantry yet again. Honestly, somebody should try to catch that critter. Anyway, the despots are doing fine. Or are they? And then Giant Dwarf coming in, 1,000 channel points, for Trihorn Dragon to come in and sing themselves a little ditty. Trihorn Dragon, what's that song? Hello, my baby, hello, my honey, hello, my ragtime gal. I think his voice is shot. Alrighty. So, Zeno, thank you so much for your patience on this one. I think it's time to round out the power of Balin.
Yep. By the way, with Pirate Albaz, I mean, it is on theme. He does steal things.
And what are the Springans if not sand sea thieves?
Yeah. Anyways, Wonderworld.
Underworld. Hey, Skybuster, how's it going? Okay, let me go ahead and get this pulled up here. So what is our first showcase card that we're going to be looking at?
Let's see. If I remember correctly, I believe I put in the two highest level monsters. If you want, you can also cover their main deck counterparts. And by two highest level monsters, I mean the Synchron Fusion ones, respectively, that aren't the extra.
Alrighty, then that means we're starting out with Hydrak, the Wonderworld Inferno, a level 9, it looks like?
Level 9.
Level 9, Dark Machine Synchro Monster with 3,300 attack and 1,100 defense, requiring a Dark Tuner monster and a light Wonderworld Star monster as material. If this card was Synchro summoned using a normal monster as material, its effects are negated. This card cannot be destroyed by a battle, and once per turn as a quick effect, you may set this monster's attack to 0, and if you do, your opponent takes all battle damage from battles involving this monster until the end of this turn. You cannot summon light attribute monsters the turn you activate this effect. Okay, so that's very much in line with what we had the last time. We have to make sure that our Geminis have become effect monsters before we go into these. Otherwise, we're not doing anything with them.
Yep.
All right, and real quick, what's Water Blaster doing here? This card is almost on the field. Once per turn, you can remove 2 wonder counters from a card you control, and if you do, this card deals double battle damage until the end phase. Wow, that's a lot. That could be 4,600 damage.
Yes. It's on a level 6 Gemini monster.
Yeah, so it does take a bit of work. Okay, next up is Wonderworld Destroyer, it looks like.
Hoovertron.
Hoovertron! That's awesome. A level 10? No, it's also 9.
Yeah, it's also 9.
Okay. Level 9, Dark Machine Fusion Monster with 3,300 attack and 1,200 defense, requiring a Dark Monster and an Invisible Man, the Wonderworld Star. I think that's new here. Oh, yeah, that's the main deck guy.
Yep.
Okay. This card of fusion summoned using a normal monster, its effects are negated. Once per turn as a quick effect, you can banish this card until the end phase, and if you do, all monsters your opponent controls must battle a monster of your choice. You cannot summon light attribute monsters the turn you activate this effect. And the base version's Gemini effect, once per turn you can remove 2 wonder counters from cards you control, and if you do, this card can attack twice during each battle phase. Also pretty good on a 2,300 point body.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Hoovertron seems pretty big. Forcing your opponent to attack monsters of your choice seems like a great way to ruin their board.
Yeah. Also, note how it combos with Hydrak.
Set this, all battle damage from battles involving this monster. Oh, okay. So you banish this, so they all have to fight Hydrak, and then you make it 0 so everyone has to hit it, and then they all take that damage. That's goofy. That's
Yep.
really goofy. In a good way. I like it.
Yeah, it's a literal combo piece right there.
Alrighty.
By the
Next.
way, with Hoovertron or Hydrak, you can use Harmonic Synchro Fusion to make 2 Lance the Wonderworld Corruptors.
Oh yeah, you were talking up the harmonic synchro fusion for these guys for a while, and it's working.
Yep.
All right, next
let's go with Wonderworld Lessons next.
Wonderworld Lessons, got it. Okay, Wonderworld Lessons is a normal spell card. Send a Wonderworld Gemini monster you control to the graveyard, and then special summon a Wonderworld Gemini monster from your hand as an effect monster. So that's good. That's kind of like a way to turbo out the effect version so that we don't get the drawbacks of our extra deck monsters. That's pretty good.
Yep. Then let's go with
Do you want to do Corruption next?
go with Corruption.
All right. Wonderworld Corruption is a normal trap card that discards a card, then special summons a Corruption token, which is a Fiend level 1 dark monster with 0 attack and defense in defense position. Then you can fusion or synchro summon a Wonderworld monster from your extra deck using the Corruption token as a level 3 tuner monster. You can only activate 1 copy of Wonderworld Corruption per turn. All right, so I guess that begs the question: why not just make it a level 3 tuner by itself?
I wasn't really thinking about that at the moment.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. Okay, what's the next one that we want to talk about?
Why don't we discuss lands now that he's pretty much at full power?
Okay, sounds good. Okay. Wonderworld Maestro or a different version?
Corruptor.
Corruptor, got it. Okay. So, folks, if this is your first time seeing the Balan cards, this is the big bad that we showed off in the first segment, but now we have all of the context. This is Lance, the Wonderworld Corruptor, a level 12 Dark Spellcaster Synchro monster with 4,400 attack, 1,300 defense, requires Lance the Wonderworld Maestro and 1 or more Wonderworld effect monsters as material. This card is also a fusion monster, and you may fusion summon this card by sending the above effect monsters from your field to the graveyard. You do not use polymerization. The opponent cannot activate card effects in response to the effects of Wonderworld cards you control. And once per turn, as a quick effect, you may banish 1 Wonderworld Star monster from your hand, field, or graveyard. And if you do, special summon a Wonderworld monster from your extra deck, ignoring summoning conditions, but return it to the extra deck during your next end phase. If you have 12 or more Wonderworld Star monsters with different names banished, you win the duel. You may only use the second effect of Lance, the Wonderworld Corruptor, once per turn. Okay, so now that we know more about how this works, the being able to summon Wonderworld monsters from the extra deck is wild. These have such like various powerful effects on their own, and being able to summon them not only for free but also making sure that we don't use normal monsters for them, basically puts them at full power.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course it also has an auto win condition because why not? It's the big bad evil guy.
Yep.
And
there are actually exactly 14 different Wonderworld stars, so you have a little bit of leeway.
Okay, so you don't have to get all of them into the graveyard, just most of them.
Yeah. There's 14 different Wonderworld stars with different names, so there's a little bit of leeway on which one if you need to get some banished.
Got it. Now, are you worried that some people might build a version of the deck that just turbos this out and then they just like banish their own whole deck just to circumvent the rest of the game style?
I mean, if they do that, they would have to play through a lot because, oh wait, this thing requires quite a bit of setup.
Yeah, so we need our dude, Lance the Wonderworld Maestro.
Mm-hmm.
And then 1 plus Wonderworld effect monsters. So that could be any of our level 8 extra deck monsters or 2 of our stars.
Yes, one or more. And remember, you can also fusion summon them by sending the materials to the graveyard as long as they are effect monsters.
Yeah.
Also, again, this guy has no protection, so if they do that, they would have to be really efficient.
That's true. You'd have to have the win condition ready. Like, although I guess if you've already set it up, all you have to do is land this on the field and then you win immediately.
Yeah.
And upside. At least this means this has a great runic matchup because they might end up banishing all your names by themselves.
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, yeah. The Wonderworld Corruptor has certainly gained a just fantastic amount of extra power since we first saw him. Now that we have a fuller context of everything, are there any interactions or anything that we can do now that we have the whole archetype?
Well, let me think here. Well, for one thing, with the whole banishing thing, check out Grim Creeper, the Wonderworld Frozen Heart.
Okay, Grim Creeper. Level 7 Dark Fiend Fusion Monster. 1200 attack, 800 defense. Once per turn as a quick effect, you can banish a Wonderworld card from your graveyard. If you do, banish up to 3 cards your opponent controls. Okay, yeah, that's pretty strong.
Yeah, no, it can also get those Wonderworld stars banished faster.
Yeah, because you're banishing one of your Wonderworlds from graveyard.
Yep.
That's pretty
also,
good.
If you don't want to make it your own monster zero and have them all attacking him, there's also Princess Mary, the Wonderworld Jester.
Okay, that's a level 8 Dark Spellcaster Synchro Monster. Has a lot of our usual Wonderworld extra deck requirements. Once per turn as a quick effect, you may have this card's original attack. If you do, reduce the attack of all monsters your opponent controls to 0. Hey, that seems pretty good if you don't have access to Hydrak.
Yep. Or if your opponent for some reason decides, yeah, no, and finds a way to skip their battle phase.
Then it will be our turn in which we obliterate you.
Yep.
Alrighty. I think we have a little more time. Is there another card that we want to focus on?
How about the Wonderworld Perfectionist?
Wonderworld Perfectionist. Where are you hiding? There you go. Okay.
Synchro monster far left.
Okay, what was that? Fort Stoffer?
Fortstuffer the fourth.
Fortstuffer the fourth. That's awesome. Alright, a level 7 Dark Machine Synchro Monster. Once per turn as a quick effect, you may discard up to 4 cards. If you do, select up to the same number of columns on the field and destroy all cards your opponent controls in those columns. Wow, that's just about a board wipe.
Mm-hmm. The reason why he chose 4 is because, well, he's the 4th.
Yeah, that's on theme. Can't fault him for that.
Yeah, and it actually pairs pretty well with the Quad Cannon, which is the main deck equivalent, which shuffles all of the cards in this card's column into the deck.
So you can use Quad Cannon to deal with one row, and then you make Fortstuffer, and then deal with the other 4.
Yeah.
Hey.
But you can't it would have to be you get Quad Cannon out, wait a turn, then activate his effect, then go into Fortstuffer.
Yeah, that makes sense. Alrighty. Well, that being said, I think it might be time for the final Nova Scale.
Yeah.
For Balan.
And if you want, you can go use the second link I gave you to show everyone the entire archetype at once.
Oh gosh, yeah. Let me see if I can get the pulled up here real quickly. Alright, folks. Take a peek at all this. It seems like only yesterday we were talking about Bartholomew, the Wonderworld Storm.
Yep.
Alrighty.
And no, the only piece of tech this deck needs is Harmonic Synchro Fusion.
It basically does the exact thing we want to happen for this deck.
Yep.
Alrighty, well, Nova Scale, gimme. So, novelty. We have a pretty interesting Gemini conceit where we want to play all this normal support to get them into rotation, but we need to make sure that they're summoned properly, otherwise our extra deck monsters do not work. Now, I think the goal of most Gemini decks is to evolve them into effect monsters, but like the emphasis of like if you try to just use these normally, you're not getting anywhere kind of deal, works in a very flavorful way. So I think when it comes to novelty here, I'm going to give it a 4. Objectivity. Do these cards meet problem-solving card text? Are they powerful? And I mean, having read some of these cards in the extra deck, like the main deck monsters, totally fine. You have to spend counters. You have to turn them into effect monsters from being normal monsters. I think these effect monsters are pretty tame. The extra deck ones are very, very silly. Angelica is triple Phoenix Wing Windblast. Bartholomew shuffles cards back into the deck. These are fantastically powerful. I think we have to give it a 3 on objectivity, just because of how powerful they are.
But again, they have limitations. You can't go into them with normal monsters, and you can't summon light monsters at all the turn you activate those effects.
Oh, I know. There's some limitations here. I'm just saying that people are gonna find ways to get these cheated out with that if those are our only restrictions. And then you're gonna have these bonkers effects going on here. So versatility. Will these cards see play in other decks? I think we've touched on the fact that we can use support from other, like, disparate places in the game to help out here. Gemini support is great. Light and Dark support is great here. Literally, Harmonic Synchro Fusion gets to be used specifically in this deck to get buku's power out of these cards. Oh, actually, the Harmonic Synchro Fusion actually brings up a good point about the restrictions on these cards. Because when you use Harmonic Synchro Fusion, it's not treated as a fusion or a synchro summon. So those monsters are not treated as material. Meaning that those things where it says if you use a normal monster as material, these effects are negated. Harmonic Synchro bypasses that. Isn't that funny?
Yep.
That's so good. So versatility. I think a 3 is warranted here. At the very least, people will find a way to access these cards, if only to use these ridiculous effects.
Yeah, I mean,
no, go ahead.
Do correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the biggest combo play here would be you taking some Warner World stuff into Earthbound, into the Earthbound Prisoner thing, into the Earthbound Prisoner deck.
Yeah, I mean, now you're adding the deck that lets you search Harmonic Synchro Fusion, so that's outstanding. And, they're mostly dark, so, that helps with the dark stuff. And awesomeness. Folks, I'm not a big Balin guy. The closest thing that I know to anything Balin related is all the Bumbles McFumbles videos. That being said, there's clearly been a lot of love that's been poured into making specific cards, not just for boss versions of these cards, but also like smaller costume versions that you play throughout the game. I think it's really charming and endearing. I gotta give it a 5. I think these cards are super sick. So I'm gonna be giving a 15 to the entire Balin Wonder archetype.
Nice.
Alrighty, well, hey, Zeno, thank you so much for joining us. Any last words for the audience before we move on to our next guest?
I'll see if I can't get a new archetype up and running by next month. Not really sure because I'm going to be starting up college again, and like in the last fourth of it, but it may not be doing book cards, but I'll try to get it up and running as best I can.
Hey, however you want to send it in, you just send them over and we will talk about them.
For reference, this will be a Link and Ritual archetype.
Oh, that's a little spicy sounding.
Also spellcasters.
Well, I look forward to seeing how those pan out. Zenomar, thank you again so much. Good luck with college stuff, and I'll talk to you later, all right?
All right. Talk to you later.
Alrighty. Okay. That brings us to our next two presenters. Of course, they're not presenters, though. They have wrote down in their form that they do not want to present. We have two more submissions here. For an archetype, it looks like people really, really like. I've seen a lot of love for Dust On. So Aaron the World Breaker has brought us more Dust On cards. The ethical alternative to Ojamas. Quad Cannon looks like a chess piece in picture alone. It's unofficial Chessian support. No. I think you're cooking, random pup. I think you're cooking. Blitz Ultra Polymerization properly summons and can do more than Synchro. Why is no one talking about that? I guess because people don't like paying 2,000 life points for doing a fusion summon. Alrighty. Let's talk about Pink Dust On. No. Pink Dust On is at the end. We're starting with Brown Dust On, a level 1 Earth Fiend tuner monster with 0 attack and 1,000 defense. Cannot be used as fusion, synchro, or exceeds material for a summon. While this card is face up on the field, it can't be attributed. If you control a Dust On monster, accept a copy of this card. You can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. You can only summon Brown Dust Ons this way once per turn. If this card on the field is destroyed, special summon a Dust On monster to its controller's field, accept a copy of this card, and you can only control one Brown Dust On. Alrighty, well, I'm going to ignore the unfortunate implications of why it's a Brown Dust On. Also, let's pause the timer on this. Oh no, actually I think I found it just now. Okay, here we go. Here are the cards that they wanted to showcase. I've got the list right now. Okay. What we actually have to talk about now is Dust On Manor, a field spell card. While in the field, Dust On monsters you control can be tributed, but not for tribute summons, and can be used as material for fusion, synchro, and exceed summons. Dust On monsters your opponent controls cannot be used as link material. If this card is destroyed by card effect, you can add a Dust On Manor from your deck to your hand, but you cannot activate it this turn you added it to your hand. Hey, Creative Hero Zero, thank you so much for following here on the Orbital platform. I hope you will enjoy our little custom card review day, and good luck with that hero gig. Fun fact, Stardust On is technically Stardust support. Yeah, it's so funny that it's a Stardust card. You can use, like, what is it, the Stardust Revival card on this? It's great. Average Yu-Gi-Oh! Gamer. Hey, Average Yu-Gi-Oh! Gamer, how's it going? Okay, so Manor is good. It allows you to use the Dust Ons for things, and it locks out Link Monster summoning now, which was a thing that Dust Ons weren't around for, so they couldn't, they weren't future-proofed that way. So the field spell helps to keep that locked down. Let's go ahead. What's next? They want us to talk about Clear Dust On. Clear Dust On is our first Pendulum monster. It is a level 1 Light Fiend Pendulum monster with 0 attack and 1,000 defense with a scale of 2. As a Pendulum spell, you can only special summon Dust On monsters. This effect cannot be negated. If a Dust On monster on the field is destroyed, its controller takes 1,000 damage, which is not once per turn. Oh, wow. Cannot be used as fusion, synchro, or exceeds material for a summon. While this card is face up on the field, it cannot be attributed. If this card on the field is destroyed, the controller of this card cannot activate any card effects from their hand or graveyard until the end phase. This card on the field is destroyed. The control of this card cannot be. That is heinous. Incredibly heinous. Damn, I missed the custom cards. I was going to use my custom card Metal Foe support. Well, we still have 2 days for it. Really quickly, though, Acetone VTuber, thank you so much for sending the alien invasion. Please give me all of your A counters. All you people here. I want those delicious A counters. Send them my way. Acetone, thank you so much for sharing your audience here. Let me go ahead and return the favor a little bit. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm being danced on. I'm being danced on. All right, well, hey, how's it going, everyone? Viewers of Acetone, my name is Golden Nova, the lore laureate, the explaining expert. Normally, my stuff is on YouTube. I do a lot of explained videos to get you up to date on various archetypes and lore, but today we're talking about my patrons' custom card submissions. Really quick plug, since now all of you are here. if you would like to submit some custom stuff, it's a fun thing I do for my patrons every month. The Patreon link is in that block of text. Joining at $5 or higher will get you submitted, and there's 2 days left. There's no cutoff time until Sunday when we start doing this, so if you want to join in, that's how you do it. Vichow100, thank you so much for following here on the Orbital platform. Super appreciate it. And I think that's it. Thank you. I've watched you a bunch on YouTube over the years, so it's super cool to get to raid you. Oh well, thank you for watching and supporting the channel. That means super much. Vexper, thank you so much for following as well. I'll do my best to keep your audience well. I'll make sure to feed them as many A counters as possible. You know, keep it going. And we'll get back on track here with the second Pendulum custom dust on. Pink Dust on a Scale 0 level 1 Light Fiend Pendulum monster. So you can only Pendulum summon level 1 monsters, but it's fine. That's just how Dust-Ons are. Acetone, thank you so much for following here. It means a lot. Okay. As a Pendulum spell, you can only special summon Dust-On monsters. This effect cannot be negated. If you Pendulum summon, you can summon monsters to either side of the field. Oh, no. Oh, no. Cannot be used as fusion, synchro, or exceeds material for a summon. While this card is phased upon the field, it can't be attributed. If this card on the field is destroyed, the controller of this card banishes cards from the top of their deck, face down, equal to the number of Dust-On monsters destroyed this Oh, no. So on top of everything that Dust-On already does, you are going to Pendulum summon to their side of the field any Dust-Ons in your hand that you want to give them. And you can give them clears and pinks from your extra deck, which will keep them from activating effects if it's popped. And it banishes, and it's Runic. It's better than Runic because it banishes face down. Oh my god. Oh my god. These are great. I love that guy. I can't argue with that. It's grand. Okay, what is another card they wanted us to make sure we looked at? I'm already floored. Dark Blue Dust-On. Dark Blue Dust-On. Is that in the extra deck? Yes, it is. Dark Blue Dust-On is a Link 1 Water Fiend monster with 1,000 attack, requiring any Fiend monster as material. If this card is summoned, you can add a Star Dust-On from your deck to your hand. I'm already loving this. If you have a Star Dust-On in your hand, you can special summon a House Dust-On from your deck or graveyard instead. Oh, okay. If you already have Star Dust-On, you can do House instead for that first effect. Okay. You can destroy one other Fiend monster you control, and if you do, it is treated as those destroyed by your opponent. So if your opponent tries to deny the destruction, you can just make it work yourself. Wow. What a way to go. Dust-Ons are now just VFD pass. That's kind of. Gold Nova Yu-Gi-Oh! That's the most powerful card in all of Duel Monsters. I got the reference. Okay, next up is Lime Green Dust-On. If they're not going to make Ojama Lime, then we're going to get Lime Green Dust-On. A rank 1 Fiend Xyz monster, requiring 2 or more level 1 monsters as material. This monster you control can attack while in face-up defense position, and if it does, apply its defense for damage calculation. This card can declare attacks on monsters up to the amount of Xyz material that it has. Up to twice per turn, you can detach an Xyz material from this card. Special summon a Dust-On monster from your deck to either side of the field. That's brazy. It's going ham-bone right now. Really quickly, before we continue, 1,000-point redeem from a random pup. Chad gets to fist bump Raviel. Folks, raise your fist to the screen because one of the sacred beasts is about to impart you with the power of the shimmering scraper. Let the dark energy flow through you. Ah, there you go. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of that, huh? That'll get you through the day, I think. Okay. Let's talk about Orange Dust-On really quickly. I need to know what this does too. I think we have a little more time here. You can reveal this card in your hand, then tribute Fiend monsters who you control whose level equals 1. You can tribute multiple monsters. Their levels have to equal 1, though. Special summon this card to either side of the field, and if you do, this is treated as a ritual summon. You can also special summon this card from your deck with the effect of House Dust on. This is treated as a ritual summon. Cannot be used as a fusion synchro or Xyz monster material for a summon. While this card is face up on the field, it cannot be tributed. If this card on the field is destroyed, the control of this card cannot activate spell or trap cards or monster effects until the end phase. Isn't that similar to Clear? Oh, this can't activate from hand or grave, but can be from anywhere else. Orange Dust On just says spell trap or monster effects anywhere can't activate. Incredible. I want to make some custom cards, but having a creative block on how to make them really good. That's fair. If you want to show them off, you want to make sure they're really good. In that link, in that big link block that I put up there, there's a link to the Discord, and we have a whole channel dedicated to custom card stuff. While this here is specifically for patrons, there is a section on the Discord where you can just share your customs with anyone without having to sign up for anything. So if you want like ideas, bounce ideas off people, all that kind of stuff, that's a good place to go. Got a great community over there for that. Oh no, my 2 half-star monsters. That's from the unglued Yu-Gi-Oh set. We have half-star monsters. Okay, I am in love. I don't know if we have time to cover the rest of the Dust On cards. I'm going to keep going until Blitz calls time, actually, really quickly. We've got all the monsters here. We've got 2 more extra decks really quickly. Okay, Purple Dust On. 1 star. Dark Fiend. 2 Dust On monsters of material. Must be special summoned by tributing the above materials you control. This is treated as a fusion summon. You can only summon purple Dust Ons once per turn. This card you control is the only dust. If this card you control is the only Dust On monster. Sorry. Roll this back. This card you control is the only Dust On monster your opponent can target for attacks and card effects. If this card on the field is destroyed, you can add a Star Dust On or House Dust On from your deck or grave to your hand. Pretty neat effect. It's wild because it's one that you want to have destroyed on your side of the field because it's a positive effect. Incredible. Okay, lastly is Gray Dust On, a level 2 Light Fiend Synchro monster. Oh, I've got a dock points for that one. There's no way you can have a level 2 Dust On. Requiring a Dust On tuner and a non-tuner monster's material. Must be synchro summoned. You can only summon Gray Dust Ons once per turn. If this card is summoned, you can add a Dust On spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. If this card on the field is destroyed, you can add a Dust On monster from your grave to your hand, except a copy of Gray Dust On. Okay. Seems pretty good. Oh, hey, Moby. It's cat time. Folks. Really quick, it's cat time. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. How's it going, buddy? How you holding up? Sorry, folks. Stream is paused. It's cat time. Whoa, hey. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. How's it going? Hey, buddy. How's it going? Hey, buddy. How's it going? Hey, it's Moby. Okay, goodbye. All right, there you go. Cat stream has been concluded. We are back to Dust On streaming. All right, buddy. Can you get out of the way of the screen so I can see what I'm doing? Can you move? You all saw him. He's directly in front of the screen. I can do nothing. Okay, there we go. I can now see. I can see clearly now. The cat is gone. Should have been like the Earth's Arctic synchro. That's what I'm saying. Give Kitty more love. I'm giving him some pets. Mwah. Okay, he didn't want to kiss. And now he's back in front of the screen. Gray Dust On can be played in sprites. So true. So true, bestie. We can keep reviving him with Elf if we're in Master Duel. Absolutely incredible. Okay, well, that being said, I think it's time we go on to the Nova scale because we've looked at basically everything here. So, novelty. Have we seen effects like these before? Are we breaking any new ground? Now, technically, as archetypal support, this isn't going to get a perfect 5. It doesn't mean it's bad. That just means that when it comes to being original, by dint of it being from another archetype, it's not going to be all the way there. That being said, there's a lot of these things are functioning like normal Dust On stuff, but there's a lot of creative ways that are being used to enable them. I love that Orange Dust On is like, it has its own ritual effect in here. It can be ritual to both sides of the field. I like how we've added pendulum cards into the mix, and we're pendulum summoning to our opponent's side of the field so that we can give them Dust-Ons to be destroyed. It's just really funny. I don't know what to tell you. I gotta give it a 4 for like every other thing that it does is getting a 4. Objectivity. I don't think I saw any issues with problem solving card text. I really think that that Aaron did a really good job of making sure that all of this lined up as it was supposed to. Dust on Manor might be a little weird because like enabling things that are restricted on a card is something I don't think we've seen before. We've seen alterations to effects, like how another popular field spell, Orchest Babel, changes them from regular effects to quick effects. But I don't think we've seen things that like. No, I guess there's like the closest thing I can think of is the Psyframe Link monster, which allows you to activate the Psyframe monster effects even though you have Psyframes. But that's like changing a condition. It's not like the Psyframes say you can't summon this card, whereas Dust-On allows that to happen. So that being said, there's nothing to check against it, so I couldn't be all like, this is wrong or this is right kind of deal. But it is an interesting thing to allow for it to happen. So I think we got to give it a 5 on objectivity, because I don't think there's actually any issue with the PCST, PSCT, and the effects are pretty clean and not really. I do worry a little bit about, you know what, I am going to bump it down to a 4. Any cards that say your opponent can't activate blank for the rest of the turn, pretty scary. So just for that, I'm bumping it down for a little bit, just for the power on that one. Otherwise, great card. Versatility. Will these cards see play in multiple decks? They will, kind of. Most of these cards keep you from using them for particular summons. Manor changes this. However, like the pendulum scales are so limited that only level 1 decks could play them. And the scales keep you from special summoning anything that is not a Dust-On. That being said, dark blue and lime green do use generic cards. And I've already lived through the horror of a Recital Starling that has gained like 5 attacks from having a whole bunch of level 1 monsters. Lime green serves a similar purpose and can summon Dust-On monsters randomly to either side of the field. You could play this to give your opponent a clear Dust-On or a orange. No, I guess you have to summon it with House Dust-On. So you can't give them orange. Or you can't give them. Is there another one that keeps? I guess it would just be clear Dust-On, but that's still pretty strong to do that. So I think 2 is good. And awesomeness, folks. Now everyone knows that I hate Ojamas here. If you've been watching the channel long enough, I hate Ojamas to my core. Those cards are annoying. They clog up zones. They're always being invited. They're always bumping their noses into places they're not invited. That being said, these are not Ojamas, folks. These are Dust-On. Dust-On are based. They're amazing. I love them so much. However, I am giving them a 4 because there is a level 2 Dust-On in here, and I cannot forgive those crimes. In fact, being a level 4 monster brings you closer to the Ojama menace than any before. However, that still means that these Dust-Ons get a respectable 14 on the Nova scale. You love to see it. All right, chat. The main downside is none of them are sexy enough. Excuse me. Have you seen Star Dust-On? That's a dad bod. This is a certified dad bod. These are certified DILFs. Dust-Ons I'd like to befriend. Okay, here is a, there's a Malefic spell that does that. Oh, well, if Malefics are doing it. Time to make an Ojama custom deck in a few months. I'm giving that like a 1 on, it's going to be the first to 0 on awesomeness. I ain't dealing with this harassment. I'm all like, 1 is the minimum score, but if people keep sending Ojamas, I might have to rescind that. Alrighty. My bad, I finished. Alrighty, zabading, zabadoo, zabadai. Let's go ahead and let's open up the last one from our good patron, a random pup. We're talking about the Mecha Army. And we're going to go ahead and grab us a random pup submission form so we know which ones we need to talk about. Moby is still just... Moby's doing the thing where he, like, lays directly where my mouse is supposed to be because he just loves that spot. He loves that spot in particular. And like, I have a pillow here to act as, like, a wrist support. But the funny thing is that there's a full half of the pillow that he will just not lay on. He refuses. His butt is in the center, moves out, and from his shoulders up, he's laying on, like, the glass desk... Because I guess he just loves poking his face into, like, the little hole beneath the monitor where all, like, the computer heat is. I think he just loves being there for the energy. It's actually amazing. I love this little poof. Does he get in my way when I'm working? Constantly. Does it frustrate me to no end? Exactly. Do I love him? With every fiber of my being. Who's a little gookish? Who's a little gookish? Who's a little boogish? He's a little boogus. He's my little boogus. Alright, there we go. In my defense, I don't know how Earth's Arctic does the level 1 synchro. You know what? That is fair. We'll learn for the future for how to make that happen. All right, really quickly. Orbital platform announcement. 2,000 points paid by Pokemaster Ian. The Dust On just announced that they are declaring war against the Ojamas. Good. Good for them. Just wait, people start trying Ojama Sprite. I don't gotta wait. Doom, Mistress Doom, I think has played that because she loves Ojamas. It has been no small issue in our friendship, the Ojama divide between the two of us. We've made it work. We're still great friends. But every once in a while, the Ojama question comes up, and it gets rough sometimes. It gets tough being the right person in that conversation, and I have to take the high ground. I have to take the high road. All right, so getting started right now. I have Pup's information. Let's go ahead and talk about the Mecha Army archetype. The first highlight card is Shul, Mecha Army Recruit. A level 4 light warrior normal pendulum monster with a scale of 1 and 1800 attack and 1200 defense. As a pendulum spell, once per turn, if the other pendulum zone has a Vera monster, you can add a level 4 or lower Mecha Army monster from your deck or grave to your hand. Card text. Vera! 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 Look at this. All right, just look at it. No, I haven't read it yet. It was for you, so I came looking for you right away. A king heard of us. 2 complete randoms were noticed by royalty. Never thought we'd really be noticed by anyone, let alone royalty. Neither do I. But I think about what this would do for our village. It'll grow massively in size and economically. If we join them, Alakeen might not need to solely depend on us. Alright, we'll go. See how we can help, and if possible, we'll help them. Still can't believe our robots are this famous. Hell yeah. That's some flavor right there. I most definitely did not change an effect as this stream was going. That's the power of the Google Docs, folks. Alright. Next up is Viera, Mecha Army Recruit, a level 4 light warrior pendulum monster with a scale of 4 with 1200 attack and 800 defense. If a Shul monster is not in the other pendulum zone, destroy this card. Once per turn, you can shuffle a machine-type monster from your hand into the deck and add a machine-type monster that is 1 or 2 levels lower than the monster shuffled. Okay. Okay. All right, Nova, got a jet. The axolotl is summoning me. I'm doing some prep for the Dragon Heist Session 1, though, so don't worry about that. Oh, well, that's good. That's good. I'll try to talk more about my character in the next couple of days. I'm very sorry I haven't been forthright with them. Okay. Vera's flavor text is... What is it, Shul? Fine, just sit down first. You look like you ran a looks like you ran a marathon. All right. Let's... Shul, this envelope stamp. It's a royalty stamp, none that I've seen before. You know what's inside? You could have at least checked what's inside. It's a note. This letter is of royal importance. This letter is regarding the engineers Shul and Viera from the village Alakeen. If you are not one of the previous listed, seek these individuals. If the ones reading this are Shul and or Viera, we have heard of your recent inventions, the Chessians, if I remember. Those machines were built in a short time, yet they still defend your village. This has impressed many of our commanders and military strategists. We're asking for your assistance. We need help in our war. We're losing many soldiers to our enemies. Please, help us, and we shall send riches and building material to your village in return. Sincerely, the King of the Begone Kingdom. I'm just as surprised, but we're engineers from a village that no one really heard of until recently. I'm just not sure if we can help much in a war. You're right. Let's just go see how we can help and go on from there. Alrighty. Next up is Shul, Mecha Army Engineer, a level 4 normal Pendulum Warrior Earth monster with a scale of 1 with 2,000 attack and 1,400 defense. As a pendulum spell, once per turn, and as a quick effect, you can target a Mecha Army card you control and increase its level by 1. Its flavor text reads, Copy. Careful down there, Viera. Don't try anything risky. The Kingdom wanted add their own special touches despite our warnings. Then let them deal with any breakdowns. Alright, and I see the broken model. You're clear to make a run for it. You don't have to. There's many more Model 7s in the field. Just report it broken and let this kingdom deal with the cheaper and faster models. Copy. I can see it starting up. Now get back to the airship. What's wrong with the targeting system? Viera, respond. Viera, you fly me over to Viera's last location now. Uh-oh. Seems like someone's getting pretty bad over there. Alright. Next is Viera, Mecha Army Engineer, a level 4 Earth Warrior Pendulum normal monster with 1,400 attack and 2,000 defense with a pendulum scale of 4. As a pendulum spell, once per turn, if a machine-type monster would be destroyed by battle, destroy this card instead. Card text. Shul, one of the Model 7s broke down. I'm heading to check on it. Alright, I'll check on it. Report the problem to you, see what will bring it up during the next meeting. Alright, I've arrived at the Model 7. Doesn't look like there's any damage on the outside. Check it on the inside. Come on, Shul, I know I can fix this. I'm opening it, and, of course, it's the same problem as last time. It overheated. I'm rebooting it now. Alright, I'm... Shul, something's still wrong. The targeting system. The Model 7, it's... That's my static sound. Alrighty. And then we have the just a slurry of Mecha Army cards. Until Blitz gives me time, I'm going to just read through these ones. So first up is Mecha Army Sniper Level 1, a Earth Effect monster with... Earth Effect Machine Monster, I already love it, with 800 attack and 1,000 defense. When this card is normal summoned, target a monster you control and inflict damage to your opponent equal to a quarter of the targeted card's current attack. As a quick effect, during the main phase, you contribute this card and special summon a level card that is 1 or 2 levels higher than this card's current level from your hand or deck. You covered one, you basically covered both. Okay, so it deals direct damage to our opponent, and then we can turn it into a higher-leveled Mecha Army Sniper immediately. When this card is summoned, you can target one monster your opponent controls and inflict damage equal to the current attack of that monster. If this card is special summoned by a Mecha Army card's effect, target a monster you control and inflict damage to your opponent equal to half that monster's current attack. Quick effect at the start of the battle phase, you can tribute this card and special summon a level monster that is 1 or 2 levels higher than this monster's current level from your hand or deck. Each effect of the Mecha Army level 7s can be used once per turn. Or level 3, sorry. We'll get to level 7. Okay, so this one has to wait till the battle phase to swap out. This one makes level 5. Level 5, 2400 attack, 2600 defense. Still an Earth Machine. When this card is summoned, target up to 2 monsters you control and inflict damage to your opponent equal to half those monsters' current attack. If this card was summoned by a Mecha Army card, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls and inflict damage equal to that monster's current attack, then destroy the targeted monster. During the end phase, you contribute this card and special summon a level monster that is 1 or 2 higher than the monster's current level from your hand or deck. Original testing, I had it deal equal to original and FTK'd way too easily. Yeah, honestly, it seems like it's going to be FTKing a lot now, though I guess because the battle phase has to be activated for level 3, you kind of... it can't do all of this on turn 1, but this still seems pretty powerful. Mech Army Sniper level 7. Still Earth Machine, 3000 attack, 3200 defense. When this card is summoned, to target up to 2 monsters you control and inflict damage to your opponent equal to those monsters' current attack. If this card was summoned by a Mecha Army card, target up to 2 monsters your opponent controls and inflict damage equal to the attack of those monsters. Who golly. Okay, so yeah, that's going to do a buttload of effect damage without ever having to touch your opponent. I hope they have some good interaction, because good grief. Okay, the Mecha Army Soldiers, level 2. This one is 1000 attack, 800 defense. Once per turn, when this card is normal summoned, target a monster you control and a monster your opponent controls. Lower your opponent's monster's attack by half the original attack of the targeted monster. And as a quick effect, during the main phase, you can tribute this monster to special summon a level monster that is 1 or 2 levels higher than this monster's current level. A funny thing that something that I think is really funny about this is that because it doesn't specify what level, you could summon like a bunch of like off-theme monsters. You could like use the levels, like you could use this level 6 one to summon Horus and its effects would be online. That's really funny. At least I think it would. I'm going to look Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 8. No, it's got a summoning condition, so we can't just make level 8, but this is still funny that we can do this. And we can weave between them, it looks like, so that's very powerful. Holy cow. Okay. Mecha Army Soldier level 4 has 1800 attack and 1600 defense, is an Earth Machine monster, level 4. Once per turn, when this card is summoned, target a monster you control and a monster your opponent controls, then lower your opponent's targeted monster's attack by the attack of the targeted monster you control. If this card was summoned by the effect of a Mecha Army card, you can target a monster your opponent controls and negate its effects until the end of the turn. As a quick effect at the start of the battle phase, you can tribute this monster and special summon a level monster that is 1 or 2 levels higher than this card's current level. Okay, pup. Originally, they were supposed to only level up into other Mecha Army monsters, but I think the level archetype could use a bit more generic support, so the lower levels can work in any level deck like Horus and Armed Dragon to get around their main problem with their level 3s and 4s of waiting until the standby phase to level. Instead, you could use Sniper or Soldier to deal a bit of burn or lower the attack of a monster and shoot out the higher level monsters with no need to wait. That's actually pretty cool. That's pretty nifty. Okay. So let's go ahead and get these spells and traps out of the way real quick. Kingdom's Mecha Army Cost Cutting is a quick play spell card. Special summons a Mecha Army monster from your hand, but its effects are negated and destroy it during the end phase. The monster summoned cannot be used for Xyz, Synchro, Link, or Fusion summoning. I might need some help figuring out what this is used for, because I don't know what the application for this is if we're not using it for any kind of summons. I guess it could be tributed for something, so I guess we could tribute our higher level ones if we were forced to do that. Mecha Army Recruitment is a spell card, normal spell card. Add a Shul and a Viera monster from your deck to your hand, and you cannot draw cards until your next draw phase. Okay, so it gets your pendulum scales all set up, which is really good. Mecha Army Glitch Friendly Fire is a normal trap card, and I think that's where the flavor is coming in. If you control one or more Mecha Army Sniper monsters, destroy a Viera monster on the field or from your hand and 2 cards on the field. I'm already sad. Pup, how'd you do that to me? I barely know these cards, and already I'm more lore than actually. Okay, that's valid. That's valid. Well, then in the case of lore, I think cost cutting works really well. That was a good idea. Okay, I think it's Nova Scale time. We gotta talk about these little grumblers. I think these are pretty cool. Okay, so novelty. Have we seen these things before? Well, we've seen level monsters, obviously, but we haven't seen them be used to such a free degree. Obviously, Armed Dragon Thunder has done a lot to speed up the armed dragons, but like I was saying earlier, this is meant to be a way to speed up a lot of level effects, which is really good. So I think for novelty, I think we can give this a 3 on novelty. I think that's a fair number on that one. Objectivity. Are these cards super powerful? Are they within problem-solving card text? Well, I didn't see a problem with problem-solving card text so far. Power level-wise, I was talking about how you could use this in a number of level decks, but the more powerful ones, you can't cheat them into play. Horus level 8 does require you to summon it with level 6 unless you're ignoring summoning conditions. And that's like, Horus is one of the easier ones to use. Like, they have the least amount of issues when it comes to their summons. Things like Allure Queen and Ultimate Insect and Dark Lucius already have a bunch of, like, clauses that keep you from using them effectively. So, being able to help turbo out higher leveled ones, to get them closer to that end game, I think is pretty nice, but it's also not overpowered. So I think objectivity is a 5. Versatility, like we said, works with level monsters. Pretty sweet. Not a lot of level monsters out there, though, notably, they are Earth machines. For most of them are Earth machines. We also have our light warrior normal pendulum monsters, which of course is a ton of descriptors that all each have a lot of support in and of themselves. But for our Earth machines, there's a lot you can work with on that one. So I think we can get a 3 on versatility on this one. You can play things like Machina Citadel. You can use some of these as stuff for Machina Fortress. I don't think rank 10 Trains uses this too much, but I think Infinitracks are going to love these things. Especially if you're sending all of these level monsters to the graveyard in quick succession. What is it? Not Tunneler. No, I think it's specifically Tunneler. Really good card. We can recycle all these, get 2 draws. And are these cards awesome? Yes, they're absolutely awesome. Not only am I a big Earth machine head, you know how I love my desk bots. I think the way these are utilized are pretty cool. And like I said, Pup has already gotten me invested in this lore with just 2 sets. And I'm already like losing my mind about what's going on with Viera and Shull. This is getting a 16 on the Nova scale for me. Solid cards, love the concept, really cool execution. Thank you for sharing, Pup. I super appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing where the story goes. If there's a continuation, we'll see Shull's reaction to Viera. Okay, good. There is more. Graveyard of the 4th Dimension? Maybe. Graveyard for the 4th Dimension is just, like, bad. It just puts cards back into your deck for no value. But, like, maybe if you're that desperate for it, you could play it. But, yeah. Bravo. And that about does it for me. I was really hoping that we could look at a few other people who wanted to have their cards looked at a general date. But we're going to have to wait for later to do that. Because I have to do some more house hunting. That's right. We're still looking for a place to live. We've been at this for 2 months, and housing people are silly and dumb, and I hate them. It is the worst process in the world. Thankfully, I have all of you at my back to help make all of this worth doing. So thank all of you so much for all your support. Both the people who joined the page trying to be a part of this, and also the people who have joined in to watch watch the videos, leave the comments, hit the like button, all the little things that just help channels like mine get where they are today. It really means super much to me. Come back tomorrow. I believe we are going live noon Central, so be back here. You have a lot of time to join in and make your custom cards if you wanted to join in. If you want to make sure you're notified when I go live, make sure you hit that follow button and make sure notifications are turned on, because I've gotten a lot of complaints from people that Twitch's notification systems kind of blows. So, to make sure notifications are good will help with that. Who's streaming on these 5Cs right now? Who be streaming out here? Yar and such. Okay, looks like Lemon is streaming. They're playing some NR format stuff. Let's go and show them a little love. Lemon showed out some custom stuff yesterday, which was awesome. And they're running an NR tournament today, so let's go ahead and send you over to Lemon. All right. As usual, thank you all so much for stopping by. Please take all of the hope and energy and love and all the good positive feelings that we've cultivated in today's stream and move them forward, not just through this raid, but also to whatever you're doing for the rest of the day. And if things are not good and the positivity just isn't there, then I hope this helped a little, and I hope things get better for you. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see all of you next time. Bye-bye.